Now, has the Tinubu government impacted Nigerian society since it came into office 2 years ago? Well, if you ask many people on low incomes, they'll tell you that they're having a harder time making a living. Food, transport and fuel are more crushingly expensive, salaries aren't going up, and those that are have been wiped out by the falling value of the naira, and there are no new jobs being created. And even those slightly higher up the food chain are also paying more for everything, and their quality of life is definitely lower. According to the opposition PDP, it's as if the government is attacking the people and harming their ability to survive. But for its part, the government wonders how the PDP, bubbling as it is in the agony of its own instability and with its public influence waning by the minute, could even be coherent enough to mount any kind of political challenge to anyone, least of all the APC. Well, for his take on all this, I'm joined now in the studio by the politician, business executive, and former presidential aspirant, Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, who still is, I should say, a leading member of the PDP, because I have to be honest, a lot of people are leaving the party. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Charles.
How would you characterize the political environment in Nigeria right now, with 2 years to go before the next presidential election?
I think the political environment in Nigeria is, you could say, is agitated. It's agitated because we have the migration of people, I say, who after every election migrate, due to what Fayosha called the stomach infrastructure. But I also believe that the unstoppable and unending crisis in the opposition parties, PDP leading and the other ones, have also worsened the state. So you do not find any substantial opposition, really. The opposition is brittle. You don't know who actually, if you, in some parties, when you leave one or two persons, nothing is heard about talking about what the government is doing or criticizing or even reviewing or critiquing. So we are gradually emerging to a one-party state. In effect, APC has no heat being given by anybody. It's not one guy comes and makes some statement in PDP and once in a while people just make comment. There is no coherent, in my view, and I say it, there's no coherent opposition that places policy against policy and providing what will be alternatives. Because my own brand of politics is not criticism for criticism's sake. You must criticize, bearing in mind what is the outcome, what is the benefit for the people.
Because you're a technocrat.
Yeah, I'm not going to politics because of me. I'm going because of the people. So, Charles, if you do what will make the people good, I'll support you. At the time that what you're doing is
you'll be waiting a long time.
Yeah,
because I certainly won't even
I'm not going to oppose you just because you're not in my party. I'm not just going to support you also because you're my party, because I'm not that brand. So today, APC is getting away because there's no strong opposition, and people who thought I will oppose them are migrating into the same party.
And you think that the reason why there isn't that sort of vibrant opposition, I mean, in your party, for example, the PDP, which is seen as the main opposition, and of course a Labour Party, is because to many people, and arguably to you, I mean, the party is in absolute disarray.
No, the party is suffering from what I call leadership deficit. Political parties are instruments for social change. They're instruments to pursue policy directions. The kind of thing we do in advocacy, in an ASG, in MAN, it's actually situated in the political. They are the ones put by constitution to play those roles. But because of no ideological characterization of our political parties, just come in and get the best you can, because that's essentially what Nigerian politics is. get something for myself, get something for my clique. The majority of Nigerian politicians, I say it with no apologies, are not interested in the people. They are more interested in themselves. So when you see what's going on in PDP, you find that there is not that type of leadership that can rally. I mean, the challenge of leadership is when things are not going well, who is able to rally people and put them in a proper direction. PDP seems to not to have that now.
So in that regard, there really is no hope for 2027, is there?
Well,
particularly for the PDP.
For the PDP, it is not a question of not hope. The only thing I want in favor of PDP is that the opposition to APC will be the people. The people will be the opposition to APC, not necessarily parties. Are you getting my point? So if the people find APC and what it has delivered the best they can have, they will stay with APC. But if they feel that this party is not giving them the best, then they will force change. They can, I mean, look at the changes going on now. You see all the discussions. People are going to SDP.
Yeah, but your party is not inspiring confidence. I mean, the sense that we're getting from the public is that it's in a far worse position than the APC in terms of the perception of the public. That the contradictions and differences between various leaders in the PDP are so deep and fundamental amid allegations that some of its leaders have been compromised by the state, that as things stand, the perception is that it has ruined the operations of the PDP and that it is virtually impossible to decontaminate the party. I mean, what's your reaction to
My reaction is that truly the rot in PDP is deep, but it is not unsurmountable, it's not incurable, because if you ask most people in the party, they know what the problem is. They do. It's just that we run a political system that is highly monetized. And because of the poverty in the land, everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. Everybody can be bought. And when I say everybody, I say so with some reservation. When I say everybody, I don't mean everybody. But I'm sure many people can be bought. And when you have leadership in a particular party that is not mature, it's not experienced, it cannot lead when there's crisis. So that is what we're seeing. But you see, the salvation is that they're going to be Congress, they're going to be elections of the people that will lead the party into the next election. That is the saving grace that people like myself and other people hope that that will be the time for the party to rediscover itself.
You mean when?
This year, November this year, there's going to be Congress.
Right, okay.
And that will
but that's already come into dispute, hasn't it?
Yeah, but if it does happen,
that
is the opportunity. Then, as I said, there's also this discussion about coalitions.
I'm going to get to that, because I really want to tap your brain.
PDP certainly has his house full of challenge.
Right. What I was going to ask you is what happens beyond the sort of congresses and things that you're talking about, what happens in 2027 with the collective opposition, including the PDP, the Labour Party, etc., because the ruling APC has clearly been, as you yourself pointed out, emboldened by your sort of failures and is already pushing almost confidently for a second presidential term for Bola Tinubu while the opposition is sort of flailing about. I mean, what is the plan for 2027? Will there be an alliance, a coalition, a new party, or is it all over even before the fight?
You see, the point is that the people from my place, they say, if you want to know where you forgot your umbrella or think of where the rain started to beat you, PDP, I mean, to be sincere to you, scored its own goal. You know, people take policies and principles for granted. They think you can manipulate things. PDP was a good party, democratic, had established policies and traditions. Zoning from one place to the other in their constitution. They got to 2023 and said, no, it was going to be open to all. And it was the gladiators, the people who want to manipulate it to their own advantage, fought for that. And that's where the problem with PDP came. That's what brought the fissure.
Yeah, but that's not where the problem came.
No, that's
the problem came in 2014 because a lot of people broke away from the PDP.
But they came back.
They're the ones who formed the APC.
Many of them came back.
Well,
because they found that APC was not home.
Yes.
There was culture clash. Many of them came back.
Yeah.
And when they came back, there was a formidable the party was being rebuilt, like in 2019.
The potential was there.
2019, the party was strong and was going to even be stronger in 20, except when the PDP jettisoned its policy.
Right.
That's what took Peter away. That's what took Kwakwanso away.
That's a good
If
point.
those two people were in the party, there's no way it would have been as bad as it is, because APC went to that election with the worst records any party. I mean, if the people told you what APC had done in terms of the economy, in politics, insecurity, national cohesion, peace, quality of life, there was no way that party would have won. But PDP decided to score its own goal because of selfishness of one or two people who insist they must be president. And the moment you insist on things, selfishness, it has a way of coming back to haunt you. PDP today will only recover if it goes back to where the rain started beating it, and which is the opportunity for this coalition. Because if this coalition comes, it's the same people who left a PDP that are going to be in the coalition, maybe with a few other guys. That is the saving grace. And I think for the sake of Nigeria, that coalition is important. Not because President Tinubu, as a president, may not be doing a couple of good things. But the point is that when a party runs without opposition, then it takes the people for granted. The opposition is supposed to be a guard to protect the people from autocracy and dictatorship. But when you are ruling the large people, the APC, everybody is coming to APC looking for one thing or the other, the president, the National Assembly can take the people for granted. That's the danger.
Right. Well, I mean, some people are saying that the APC government, I mean, you pointed out how, disillusioned Nigerians were with the previous APC government up to 2023.
Yeah.
And a lot of that disillusionment has also been moved into the current government. And the APC government, some would argue, have some terrible weaknesses at the moment, and 2027 would have been a great opportunity for the opposition to try and show that the APC no longer has the mandate of the Nigerian people, if it ever had it in the first place.
Yeah.
And I mean, people are starting to look beyond the PDP, beyond the Labour Party. They're talking about the SDP now.
Yes, because the truth of the matter is that in Nigeria you have two classes of political actors. There are political actors who are just there for themselves. Wherever their bread will be buttered, that's where they go. They don't care about ideology, they don't care about competence, character. And there are still a few who are service-driven, who worry and keep awake every night because of the way the country is going. Some of them are in SDP, I can tell you that, without sounding. The guy who was the presidential candidate of SDP, I called him one day, even when I was running for office, I said, if I didn't vote for myself, maybe I would have voted for you. Because when you hear him talk, you know he has a deep understanding of what the problems are in this nation.
And he seems to have an ideological slant.
Exactly. And that is the kind of guys I think people can aggregate around for the purposes of saving Nigeria from dictatorship and one-party state. Because one-party state is not very different from military dictatorship.
I mean, let's talk more about those kinds of people. And let's assume that, for the sake of argument, that you're one of them. I mean, you were once the chairman of the respected think tank, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, or NESG. How would you assess the economic situation in Nigeria today, putting on your non-partisan sort of objective hat? Because for many people, hardship is deepening, prices are rocketing, the economic situation is worsening. Is that how you, as an economic analyst and an entrepreneur, see things, or is the outlook brighter than that?
To be sincere to you, President Tinubu, as they say, has done what Napoleon could not do. You know, his popular sense. I've not seen a leader with courage that he has. His courage it's unusual. No, I mean, let's see. To try and take out oil, to remove subsidy, and even restructure the economy. Babangida put us through a debate, the SAP debate. Should we take the IMF loan or took SAP? Nigerians debated and agreed to punish themselves and face the consequences. When even Abacha took out oil money, he put it in a PTF, called somebody we trusted and said, come on, to lessen the pain. President Obasanjo sent Kubolokun running around the whole country, negotiating with people why they should agree to take out oil price. And each time he tried to do a subsidy, my friend, the Pope in APC, who forgives sins now, called Adams Oshomole, would jump at Obasanjo, and Obasanjo will recede. He tried twice or thrice to do partial. Okay, he went back. When Jonathan came, he was the boldest because he did want to take it, but they led an opposition.
Indeed,
that
they took to the streets.
He got frightened. His government almost came down. But see, somebody has come. He took out oil subsidy. Removed multiple exchange rates. He's gone into taxation. Things that, in one country, price of bread rose, and it led to problem, strikes, and here noises are made, and else we issue threats, this one we issue threats, and they fizzle out. So President Tinubu has done what I haven't seen any leader do in recent history. I don't know how he did it. Maybe the people were tired of the old system. Where am I going to? What he did were things that should be done. The area I and many other people disagree with him would be the method. Because we didn't think Nigeria could take all this. So he's giving us all this. And Nigeria seems to be holding. I mean, you can see there is a little bit of stability. I mean, some bit of deceleration of inflation. You see a little bit of things moderating. So maybe we have gotten to the worst state.
Yeah, but when you say
on the macroeconomy, I'm coming on the macroeconomy
because it went all the way up.
Yes, so it went up. So
it's coming back down to where
it will not come
so
back.
So people are still suffering.
Yeah, suffering. See, what he did is what in the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, if you go and read our green book and white books, we've talked about that we need to take out all this subsidy. Because not only was he taking away money that government will use for other things, he bred corruption into some unsurmountable way, and therefore was a bad thing for our country. And he did not promote investment. So in principle, what he has succeeded in doing are things that on the medium to long term will be beneficial to the country. The only thing is that in the short term, it's causing so much pain.
Right.
And that pain is not being properly compensated for by the government, first of all, by the level of cost of governance, or by the malfeasance of the government operators.
Right. I was going to come to that because that's an interesting point.
Yes.
Some have taken it further than what you just said.
Yeah.
That based on that, even though in principle the policies seem to be the right ones, in practice the country is lurching towards instability because people are hungry. I mean, poverty is deepening. Jobs are not being created. And as some of your opposition colleagues have suggested, unless the government urgently arrests the economic situation very soon, you know, especially when you look at things like allegations of budget padding, you know, wondering whether, you know, we're getting value for money, budgets, as you yourself have raised that question, in the midst of this highly monetized political culture. Let that be your sort of summarizing statement, and then after that, we've got to go.
Yeah, so there is a way to do a good thing. You know, you can succeed in digging a hole. Sweat, dig a hole. After you dig a hole, use your leg to put the sand back into the hole. Now I ask you, what is the sum effect of what you have achieved? Nigerians have been taxed from petroleum subsidy removal to margin of exchange rate or devaluation. Is tax because you're taking money from the people to government. So we have tried to cure the revenue crisis that the country faced over many years that led to borrowing from anywhere. Now, haven't done so. You must reflect to the people that you that is in governance and the people that you're governing with are in the same boat. Today it sounds that there are two countries. The country of those who are being taxed and the country of those who are consuming the tax. And that is what is causing the trouble. The day the president and his senior president, they live in a bubble. They do not really feel what the people feel. I don't blame them. Where they go, where they sit with the wealth and the wealthy and the powerful. They don't go to the market that other people go to. Their children don't go to the same school. They don't feel it. So sometimes it's difficult for them to understand. And I'm telling them they should break loose. Come out and see what the people are feeling. Then they will know how to empathize with the people by first cutting their own expenditure, making sure that Nigerians say we are all in this sacrifice together. What will ruin this very good, painful, but critical, and I say it without, they were essential reforms that must be done someday. It's now to hold down our expenditure, deal with malfeasance, bring down corruption. Budgets is being padded. You know they are doing that.
We must go.
Minister will pad, this other person will pad, and everybody's building up expenditure, preparing for the next election. That is what is going to work against the success or the sustainability of these reforms.
And on that note, I want to thank you very much indeed. You always make a lot of sense. Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa is a politician, business executive, and former presidential aspirant. Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Charles.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.